Good, a little damp Tuesday evening, everyone. The August 27th, 2024 meeting of the Marion County School Board is called to order. Mirroring and modeling the way our students begin each day, I ask that we observe a moment of silence at this time. Please join me. Thank you. I'll now ask Board Member James if she would read our board commitment statement. Good evening.
Thank you, Chair. We are the Marion County School District Leadership Team. When we come together to work, we are efficient, effective, and productive. Our three most important characteristics are dedicated, transparent, and individually responsible. To work well together, we must demonstrate respect, confront reality, and be accountable. We will always put students first. We will leave a legacy of success.
Thank you, Board Member James. For the courtesy of those listening to the meeting, I am requesting everyone in the audience to please turn off your electronic devices or put them on vibrate. Later in the meeting, up to 30 minutes will be provided for individuals to address the board on matters concerning the operation of the Marion County school system or the school board only. Presentations are limited to 5 minutes and are televised. If you wish to address the board regarding a regular agenda item or matters on which the board customarily takes action, you must first complete a peach form located in the lobby. If you wish to address the board regarding a public hearing or a student discipline matter, please complete a lime green form. These forms must be fully completed and received by the board clerk no later than 5:40 p.m. The procedures applicable for each are on a separate sheet. Good evening, Board Clerk. Please call the roll.
Good evening. Dr. Allison Campbell, District 1.
Here.
Mrs. Lori Conrad, District 2.
Here.
Mr. Eric Cummings, District 3.
Here.
Mrs. Nancy Thrower, District 4.
Here.
Dr. Sarah James, District
Here.
5. Excuse me. I was concentrating on pronouncing our next student. Arisha Bawani, Westport High School.
Bellevue High School, but I'm here.
Oh, bien. I'm sorry.
Marisha.
Adrialis Diaz, Westport High School.
Here.
Dr. Diane Gullett, Superintendent.
Here.
Mr. Jeremy Powers, School Board Attorney.
Here.
Thank you, Ms. Martinez. Good evening, Dr. Gullett. Would you share information about those coming forward to share inspiration and lead the Pledge of Allegiance this evening?
Yes, thank you. Good evening, Madam Chair, members of the board. Great to see you this evening. It's my pleasure to introduce Mr. Frazier, who is going to come forward, and he is going to introduce one of our outstanding principals from Howard Middle School, Suzette Parker, who is going to introduce some very special students tonight. Thank you.
Good afternoon, Chair Thrower, board members, and Superintendent Diane Gullett. Our HOSA students are here with us today. HOSA was originally known as the Health Occupations Students of America and is a career and technical student organization recognized by the U.S. Department of Education and Health Science Education. The division of the Association for Career and Technical Education, it was established in 1976 to promote career opportunities in the healthcare industry and to enhance the delivery of quality health care to all people. HOSA has consistently held annual national leadership conferences, which have become significant events for health science students. These conferences provide opportunities for members to compete, learn, and network with professionals in the field. HOSA has expanded internationally with chapters in countries like Canada, Mexico, Italy, Germany, and China, reflecting its growing influence in the global health education. HOSA's focus on leadership development, career exploration, and community service has helped shape the future of the healthcare workforce. Many former HOSA members have gone on to successful careers in medicine, nursing, dentistry, public health, and other health-related fields. The organization's emphasis on practical experience, leadership skills, and professional development has made it a crucial part of health science education. Today, HOSA is known as the Future Health Professionals, and it continues to be a leading organization of students interested in healthcare, preparing the next generation of health professionals through education, leadership, and service opportunities. Ms. Parker was not able to join us this evening as the principal of Howard Middle, but we do have Dr. Robinson, the assistant principal that is here with us today. And I would like to introduce Ms. Yancey, which is our health science teacher, to introduce her students. And after this introduction, they will lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Thank you.
Good evening. I'm Miss Yancey, health science teacher from Howard Middle School, and we had 7 of my students make it all the way to international HOSA competition this summer. All 7 of them placed in the top 10 in the nation, with 4 of them scoring first place in their category.
Good evening. My name is Sayara Chetty, and on behalf of the Howard HOSA team, we would like to thank you for having us here tonight. This past June, we earned the opportunity to compete at the HOSA International Competition in Houston, Texas, after we won at the state and district level. We represented Howard Middle School and Marion County in the categories of health career display, medical math, medical terminology, medical innovations, and health career preparation. I'm extremely proud to say that we all finished top 10 in every category, 2 teams even winning first place. We all worked very hard, and it was a really amazing experience to put Marion County on the map. So thank you, Howard Middle School, Mrs. Parker, and Mrs. Yancey for your support and guidance. We are ready to do it again this year.
Wonderful, thank you.
Would everyone please stand for the pledge to the flag?
I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you.
Thank you. We sure want to come down and take a picture with you, so if you would wait just a minute. I know you thought I would probably forget, but I didn't. And before we do that, I just wanted to take a brief moment on behalf of the school board. And come on down front. You're going to get a picture anyway. Yep, right down front. Mr. Christian will show you. Awesome. Thank you. Yes, I just wanted to share with all of you on behalf of the school board how proud and grateful we are for putting Marion County and Marion County Public Schools on the map in such a good way. So we're all very proud of you, and I think what I heard the best was health careers. You know, the opportunity to have a career in the healthcare industry, especially to be able to think about it and experience what you've experienced already at your age, I'm quite sure is going to prepare you very well for whatever you choose to do next. So congratulations again, and I'm sure you have a great support system of family and teacher and principals and everyone here in the audience that wants to congratulate you too. So awesome job. That's right. I figured they were probably some former students.
Former students, yes, I know.
Yes, what a great way to kick off the night. And Dr. Gullett, I understand you have some special recognitions this evening as well.
I do. Thank you, Madam Chair. If you could tell, Board, from the audience, it speaks for itself. This is just a small indication of the amount of people in our community that really showed up to make sure that our students were prepared for a great start to their year. So I am pleased to have Mr. Carlisle come forward and kick us off with a grateful note of thanks to everyone who really made sure that our students felt that they were heard and seen and could be successful this year. So thank you.
Good evening, Board Chair Thrower, school board members, Superintendent Dr. Gullett. It is my honor to recognize the incredible impact that our community has when it comes to preparing our students, our staff, faculty, and our families to return to school in August. There are several different organizations that Marion County Public Schools partners with as we approach the first day of school, and I've asked several of them to join us this evening to share the incredible work that they do. At the conclusion of their remarks, I'm hopeful that we can get a large group photograph with you all. First, I'd like to introduce Mrs. Ashley Gerds with the Community Foundation of Ocala, Marion County to talk about the 3rd annual Back to School Community Give Back.
Good evening. The 3rd annual Back to School Community Give Back event was a heartfelt testament to the power and collaboration within our community. Thanks to the unwavering support of our partners and volunteers, we made a significant impact in the lives of thousands of students and their families. This year, we proudly dispersed over 7,000 backpacks across 8 locations, working in partnership with the Marion County Children's Alliance, MCPS, Advent Health Ocala, Stuff the Bus, and the ROC program. At the Marion County Children's Alliance location alone, we were able to provide 1,106 backpacks filled with school supplies, including an additional 100 specialty packed VPK backpacks for our youngest learners and 97 backpacks for our children within the foster care system, ensuring that every child had what they needed to start the school year off strong. Advent Health Ocala played a crucial role in this year's event by providing the largest location at their auxiliary center and educating families on health and wellness. Their team offered valuable healthcare information and connected attendees with resources available throughout Marion County, emphasizing the importance of maintaining a healthy lifestyle as a part of a successful academic year. Our partnership with Stuff the Bus and the Marion County Veterans Council was equally impactful. They delivered 1,150 fully loaded backpacks to 46 schools ahead of the first week of classes, and provided all the school supplies for the 5,000 age-appropriate bags that we dispersed at the Give Back. These bags were lovingly prepared by dedicated volunteers during a community stuffing event hosted by Gill Logistics. The volunteer efforts of the fire cadets also an invaluable in delivering these backpacks, demonstrating a commitment to service that is inspiring for us all. In addition to the school supplies, we were honored to collaborate with His Compassion Food Bank, which dispersed over 52,000 pounds of food to families in need and offered a free food voucher for additional food boxing, helping to foster ongoing relationships and provide sustained support for those facing food insecurity. Team Cone also played a vital role in the event, setting up a water station and providing over 4,000 bottles of water to keep our volunteers and attendees hydrated throughout the day. The ROC program was a cornerstone of this event, playing a vital role in supporting over 10,000 students beyond just the provision of school supplies. The ROC is dedicated to addressing the needs of students holistically, ensuring that they have the necessary resources to thrive both inside and outside of the classroom. At each location, the ROC provided additional school supplies, hygiene kits, and valuable information about the ROC program, a safe space where students can receive support and services tailored to their unique needs. These contributions were not just helpful, but essential, as they address some of the more pressing challenges students face, ensuring they have what they need to succeed academically and personally. The ROC's involvement highlights the importance of looking at education through a comprehensive lens, one that considers the overall well-being of each student we serve. Other community organizations enhanced the event's impact. The Early Learning Coalition provided VPK information and books to encourage literacy. CASA Marion offered resources to families at risk of domestic violence. FCA shared information about school huddles, while Boys and Girls Club promoted after-school programs, and the Heart of Florida Health Center provided free vaccinations and physicals across Marion County. Marion County Fire, the Marion County Sheriff's Office, and Emergency Management provided over 300 bike helmets professionally fitted for safety and shared information on Alert Marion for community preparedness. This event featured over 500 volunteers who generously donated their time, including members of local businesses and nonprofits. They helped ensure its success and strengthen our network of support. The Junior League of Ocala also dispersed over 100 packs of diapers to parents with infants, providing relief to our young families. We at the Community Foundation for Ocala Marion County are profoundly grateful to our founding partners, Advent Health Ocala and Marion County Public Schools. For their steadfast commitment to this initiative, their leadership and dedication has been instrumental in making back-to-school community give back a reality. We also extend our heartfelt thanks to our presenting sponsors and community partners, including The Rock, Stuff the Bus, Marion County Veterans Council, Team Cone, the Adam Hansen Better Communities Fund, Osley Construction, the Boyd Group, Cell State Next Generation Realty, Heart of Florida, Gill Logistics, Panzer Medicine, Priority Pediatric, and many others. The Back to School Community Give Back was about more than just dispersing supplies. It was about bringing our community together to support one another. We are incredibly grateful to everyone who contributed to this remarkable event. Your dedication and hard work have made a lasting impact in our community, ensuring that our students are not only well prepared, but are also excited for the new school year. As we look forward to continuing this tradition of community support and collaboration in the years to come, we remain committed to ensuring every student has the resources they need to succeed. Looking ahead, the future growth of Back to School Community Give Back is incredibly important to us. We're excited about the possibilities to expand our reach and impact. We look forward to building even more partnerships to serve our community at an even higher capacity, reaching more families and providing more resources. The ongoing contributions of all of our partners will be vital in this growth as they continue to provide indispensable services that help students navigate the complexities of school life and personal development. Together, we can continue to make a profound difference in the lives of our students and families. Thank you for being a part of this extraordinary community effort, and we eagerly anticipate the many more years of collaboration and support to come. Thank you.
Unbelievable. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Gerds. If you're here as a partner with the Back to School Give Back, could you please stand? Thank you. At this time, I'd like to introduce Dr. Craig Ham to share some additional information about their annual Stuff the Bus campaign, which I believe he said earlier is in the 26th year this year. Dr. Ham?
Thank you. Evening, sir.
Madam Chair Thrower, Superintendent Gullett, board members, I'm delighted to be back here again this year to talk about the longest standing backpack giveaway program in the county. As Chris pointed out, this is our 26th year, and it was 26 years ago that the late Colonel Lamar Hunt, our own Suzanne McGuire, and Hank Whittier with Vets Helping Vets met at a luncheon and thought of an idea to provide school supplies for underprivileged children in the county. It has grown every year in its scope and impact on the county. This year, Stuff the Bus was able to distribute both through our program and through contributing to the Back to School initiative over 70,000 school supply items and backpacks. Three of your board members helped stuff backpacks, so they're familiar with the assembly line process that we use in the storage unit. For the first 12 years or so, we weren't in the air-conditioned building. We were in a metal building outside. And you can imagine what that was like after a few days in July. 1 out of every 9.3 residents of Marion County is a veteran. And roughly 1 out of every 9.5 is a public school student. So it's fortuitous that we have this symbiotic relationship that enables Stuff the Bus through the Military Officers Association of America and the Marion County Veterans Council to pay it forward. Because we are here able to do what we do because years ago somebody thought enough of us to provide support in our endeavors. That's what we seek to do through our organizations. And by the way, the founding group, the MOAA group, we're now average age is 73 years. So we're talking about significant contribution by some people that would like to attract some younger veterans to give us a call and get involved because we have plenty of good work to do in the future. Again, thank you for inviting us back here again, and I'll see you next year.
Right, you will.
Thank you, Dr. Ham. On behalf of the Marion County Public Schools Mental Health and Wellness Department, I'd like to share about the 6th Annual Mission Bus Brigade School Supply Drive, which proved to be the largest to date. At the August 6th Marion County Board of County Commissioners meeting, it was announced that 18,976 items were collected among the participating Marion County departments. This was in addition to approximately $900 in monetary donations and an additional $2,300 in donations from the Marion County Tax Collector's Office. Our community also showed their support donating supplies. We'd like to take this opportunity to offer our sincerest thanks and appreciation to these community partners who took part. The Ocala-Marion County Association of Realtors, Staples Office Supplies, Marion County Clerk of the Court, First Christian Church of Ocala, HCA Florida Ocala Hospital, Type Tap Insurance Company, and Dan Newland Injury Attorneys. Lastly, the Stone Creek Homeowners Association is another amazing community partner in the Mission Bus Brigade. This community comes together each year to collect school supplies and donations to support our students. This year, Stone Creek collected over $2,500 worth of supplies, and as in years past, they also provided lunch for our student volunteers. Mental Health and Wellness Department is very fortunate for the partnerships and generosity of our community. The Families in Transitions team worked alongside an outstanding group of volunteers, students, and the Forest High School girls basketball team to collect and unload the school supplies. They'd also like to recognize the Marion County Public Schools student records, transportation, and warehouse departments who helped with the pickup, transport, and storage of all these items. Would all of the community partners and companies that participated in the Mission Bus Brigade please stand? Thank you. We're also very fortunate to have strong community support at East Marion Elementary School, which is one of our community partnership schools. And 2 tremendous supporters of East Marion are here tonight and have been instrumental in helping to welcome back the faculty, staff, and students at East Marion Elementary. Would Jesse Shabadison from Inmar CVS and Wes Herron and his team from His Compassion Food Bank please stand? Thank you. Now I'd like to invite Megan Magmal, the Executive Director of the Public Education Foundation of Marion County, to the podium to share about their incredible Tools for Teaching Pop and Drop event.
Good evening.
Good afternoon, Chair Throwers, school board members, Superintendent Dr. Gullett, and thank you, Mr. Carlisle. Thank you for this moment of recognition of the Public Education Foundation's annual event and support of teachers through our annual Pop and Drop, which is a part of our foundation's Tools for Teaching program. Through the Pop and Drop event, we serve approximately 1,000 teachers at the start of the school year, providing bags of classroom supplies. I have examples right here of those bags that get filled. Teachers drive up to the foundation office, they pop open their trunk, and we drop in the bags of supplies to make it convenient and easy for them during their back-to-school schedule. To serve 1,000 teachers during the month of August in 107-degree weather from the hours of 7 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. does take a village. And so with me today, I do have a part of that village. I'm going to ask that they stand, and that includes Foundation Board of Directors, Foundation staff, Golden Apple Academy members, and our volunteers who are dedicated to the Tools for Teaching store mission. Thank them for everything they have done to make this event possible. And for understanding 15 years ago, when the Tools for Teaching program was first established through the Education Foundation, students who cannot afford supplies to go to school is one part of the challenge that our district faces, and a way for the community to bring support together and to help those students. But part two is the amount of money that our educators spend out of their own pocket to solve that need of the kids in their classrooms. And so the Education Foundation is a part of the solution for solving the need through the hands of teachers to then equip the students who show up in their classroom without the adequate supplies to be successful. And our Pop and Drop event does not end that part of our commitment to supporting teachers, because these bags, you will see them every Tuesday and Thursday afternoon in the walls of our Education Foundation. We have approximately 200 teachers each week who come and shop for free supplies to make sure the kids in their room have what is needed the next day. I'd like to give a special thanks to our Tools for Teaching store clerk, Miss Ashley Smith, who truly is the heart of making this program work at the foundation. Thank you, Ashley. Last year, we provided $561,000 to teachers through supplies, approximately 3,600 teacher shopping visits that came through the foundation. Thank you for the opportunity to partner with Marion County Public Schools to financially and materially support our students, our schools, and our teachers.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Bagwell. As you can see, we have an incredible community who supports our faculty, staff, students, and families. I also want to take an opportunity to acknowledge and recognize our faith-based community for all they do for our schools as we prepare to welcome back our students. Activities from our faith-based community range from campus cleanups, back-to-school events, donations to our schools, welcome back breakfasts and lunch, and prayer walks. Truly have a community that cares about our faculty, staff, students, and families, and we could not do it without them. So at this time, I'd like to invite everybody up. If we could take a photo, please.
Absolutely. And then we'll do some thank yous, or we can do the thank yous right now and then take the picture and everyone can be on their way, because they've taken time out of their very busy days, being very amazing and giving, to come here and be honored and thanked tonight. And on behalf of the whole school board, I just want to say thank you for all being part of the solution. We all are aware of the problems, but being so committed to being part of the solution is what it's all about. And this pouring into our community is truly, truly unprecedented, I believe. I would put us up against any other county in the country for what everyone has done to help us in our mission, arm in arm, which is helping every student succeed and breaking down any barrier that there is to help make that happen. So thank you again from the bottom of our hearts. It'll be a joy to take a picture with all of you. Every person that stood. Coming down. Empty auditorium. Every single person that stood at some point.
Get us all in
Okay. First, are you getting in there? Hi, sir, how are you? My feet, my shoes didn't stay dry, but the rest of it I did pretty good. Oh my God, I know.
How are you doing?
Yes.
Saturday on another cruise.
I'm so
For a
envious
week.
of you guys.
Taking a deep breath. Us too. We like our new position too.
Baby, and on our board for September.
Let me get in the back of this thing. I don't.
Oh, okay. My lovely boy. I know. Thank you. We spent 2 years yesterday. Hi, good. All right. That's where I'll be.
Yeah. It's a lot of people.
That's ridiculous. That's ridiculous.
Come on, Suzanne. Come on, Suzanne. You gotta get in the picture too.
Okay. All right. I move very well. How are you?
We're all in the same boat trying to figure out how to do it.
Not that one. There's no room. I know. Good. Did I say the name right?
No, you didn't, but it's okay.
No. What is it? So tell me.
Arisha.
Arisha. What did I say? I just really.
Arisha? I think.
I got the schools backwards, and I did that last thing, so I've got to fix it. Thank you for letting me know.
Yeah, of course.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Yes, yes. I meant to ask you before we got started, and I got sidetracked with. No, I want someone to say everything correctly. You're welcome.
Kick back, relax, and yeah.
Research this week, but give me a date so I can.
You could do words.
Oh, okay. I heard that we had to move our stuff down so that they had to move it.
I was out due.
She's a sweetie. She is.
All right, drive safely, everyone, and have a great night. Thank you again for coming out. All right, Dr. Gullett, back to you.
Yes, hard to follow that. Sure. But we'll do our best. Thanks to everyone again. It's how inspiring. I am pleased to introduce 2 staff members tonight. I'm going to have them stand as I call their name. Board, you approved this at the previous meeting. Tiffany Drummond is the new assistant principal at Romeo Elementary School. She formerly served as the coordinator for high school and secondary curriculum department, so we're pleased to have her on board. She's back there. Just wave.
Wave so we can see you.
Just wave. You see her there, she
Oh,
is,
back
that beautiful
there,
jacket. Very talented. I'm also pleased to introduce Josh Howard, who's the new assistant principal for curriculum at Marion Technical Institute. And as you know, he previously served as the principal at Silver River Mentoring and Instruction, known as SERMI. Another great addition to our team. Thanks to both of you. Thank you.
Thank you, and congratulations and welcome aboard. What a great start to the night, and it continues. We're going to now recognize some donations that the school board graciously acknowledges, made to the benefit for our students, schools, and staff members. And we'll start with $2,000 to Dunellen Elementary School from the Women's Club of Dunellen Incorporated to be used to cover the costs of the 2024-2025 student planners and agendas. Next up, backpacks and school supplies valued at $39,247.50 from the previously recognized and still greatly appreciated Marion County Veterans Council Incorporated. Stuff the bus to all Marion County Public Schools, elementary schools, middle schools, and the Fordham Early Learning Academy. $1,000 to the Silver River Museum from William Willis and family to be used to support all aspects of the Silver River Museum. $20,000 to the Silver River Museum from the Felburn Foundation to be used to purchase a 2024 Ford F-150 truck. $1,001 to the Marion County Public Schools Mental Health and Wellness Department's Families in Transition Program from Hasmukhabhai Patel, and that is for products and other basic needs items. $2,300 to the Marion County Public Schools Mental Health and Wellness Department's Mission Bus Brigade Program from the Marion County Tax Collector's Office Employee Fund to help with providing school supplies such as backpacks, pens, paper, pencils, etc. to students in need. School supplies and books valued at $4,360.95 from Enchanted Backpack to Spar Elementary School to be used to enhance student learning. All right. Fantastic donations tonight. And we will move on now. Dr. Gullett, would you please make a recommendation on tonight's school board meeting agenda?
Happy to do so, thank you. I recommend approval of the agenda for the August 27th, 2024 school board meeting with the materials in the board packet, those materials distributed to board members at the meeting, and the audio recording included as part of the official record of the meeting, with the exception of the following items: D21.1, D21.2, D21.3, D21.4, D21.5, D21.6, D21.7, D21.8, D21.9, and D21.10 that have been placed under discussion. And item C17.1 has been completely withdrawn from the agenda tonight. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Gullett. Board, may I have a motion on the superintendent's recommendation?
So move.
Moved by Board Member Cummings,
Second.
second by Vice Chair Conrad. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Motion passes unanimously 5-0. May I have a motion to approve the minutes for the July 22nd, 2024 special school board meeting?
Motion to approve.
Motion by Board Member James. Second by Vice Chair Conrad. Are there any additions or corrections to the minutes? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Motion passes unanimously 5-0. May I have a motion to approve the minutes for the July 22nd, 2024 special school board meeting?
Motion to approve.
Motion by Board Member Campbell.
Second.
Second by Board Member James. Are there any corrections or additions to the minutes? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Motion passes unanimously 5-0. May I have a motion to approve the minutes for the July 23rd, 2024 school board meeting?
So move.
Moved by Board Member Cummings. Second by Vice Chair Conrad. Are there any additions or corrections to the minutes? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Motion passes unanimously 5-0. Ms. Martinez, would you please provide the proof of publication for tonight's school board meeting?
The notice for the August 27th, 2024 school board meeting ran in the Ocala Gazette on August 16th, 2024. The proof of publication has been attached in board docs under proof of publication.
Thank you, Ms. Martinez. We'll now move on to persons requesting to address the board, and I'll ask our school board's attorney to explain the rules governing persons who wish to address the school board this evening. Good evening, Attorney Powers.
Good evening, Madam Chair. In compliance with Section 286.0114 of Florida statutes, the school board has adopted uniform procedures for public speakers who wish to speak at this evening's meeting, either regarding one of today's agenda items or a matter relating to the operations of the school district. These procedures will ensure the public has a reasonable opportunity to be heard on school board and school district matters. A written summary of these procedures is available from the table in the lobby. Public speaker forms are also located on the same table. The completed forms were due to the school board's clerk no later than 5:40 p.m. Madam Clerk, do we have any speakers?
Yes, we have 3 speakers this evening.
This evening's speakers will be called prior to the business portion of the school board meeting in the order of receipt by the school board clerk. Before you begin speaking, please state your full name for the record and spell your last name. Each speaker will have 5 minutes of time. When the speaker has 1 minute remaining, the speaker will receive a visual notice to complete his or her comments. Speakers may not yield their time to other people. Speakers and meeting attendees are expected to conduct themselves in a respectful manner. Therefore, verbal attacks and profanity are strictly prohibited. Pursuant to the procedures for public comments, item 6, speakers are not to identify specific individuals other than themselves or their child, unless that statement has been provided 24 hours in advance. The board is here to listen to your comments only. You may be directed to an administrative staff member following the conclusion of your comments for further assistance to address your concerns. If there are matters dealing with student discipline, including expulsions, they'll be scheduled at the conclusion of the televised portion of this meeting. Parents may address the board regarding a discipline matter at that time. To ensure student privacy, only a parent or guardian may use a student's first or last name. Identifying references to or identification of other students and or their families is strictly prohibited. A speaker's speech does not reflect the endorsement, sponsorship, position, or expression of the school district. Thank you for your attention to the board's requirements. Madam Chair, that concludes my explanatory remarks.
Thank you, Attorney Powers. Ms. Martinez, please go ahead and call our first speaker.
Ms. Tamara Vanderpool.
Good evening, ma'am.
Hi. That's loud. I'm a little nervous, so you have to excuse my voice being shaky. Hello, esteemed school board. I want to thank you for giving me the opportunity to speak to you today. My name is Tamara Vanderpool, and I am the grandmother of Chad, and I'm raising him. I've been raising him since birth. Currently, he's in the 5th grade in Fort McCoy School. I stand before you today to discuss the school denying me access to the school family access website, Skyward, and refusing to list any emergency contacts in the system. Their claim is that I'm not the biological parent, but my power of attorney paper is not ordered by the court, so therefore I'm being denied access to the system. As a sole caretaker, I'm the only person who's overseeing his educational development and medical well-being. The school's refusal to grant me access has caused undue harm to Chad and put him in greater risk of falling behind or not having the critical care in case of an emergency. One small example is the first day of school, the bus was running 30 minutes late, and all the other parents were notified of the alert except for me and Chad. Meaning by this that he had missed breakfast because he thought he was going to school. I called the school, and they, of course, went and got him out of class and asked him, but being new to the school, because he's a transfer, and the first day he was embarrassed, so he went with no breakfast that day, and it pretty much upset me, and I called the school and trying to talk to people about, why I wasn't on the system. That's when I found out that I was blocked from the website and getting emergency notifications and all that kind of stuff, so, okay. Being the devoted grandmother I am, I refuse to be in the dark when it comes to providing my grandson the brightest future possible. So I did some review on related policies. Marion County School Policy Manual states the term parent as either or both of a student, any guardian of a student, any person in the parental relationship to a student, or any person existing supervisory authority over a student in place of a parent. Then it goes on to say, for the purpose of this policy, the term family is used in order to include a family's primary caregivers who are not their biological parents, such as caregivers. By Marion County's own definition, I am the considered parent and should be given full parental rights and access to the website. Marion County Public School Policy 2111, Volume 22-1, Update, Parental and family engagement in the school program includes relationship with families, effective communication, and engaging families in decision-making and advocacy. Additional relevant codes, PO 211, which I already just said, 2024 Florida State Statutes 1002.00 and 1002.23, Family and School Partnerships for Student Achievement Acts, which confirms the importance of me being involved, which hinges upon my access to the website. Florida State Senate, CSCS HB 1557, Parental Rights in Education, which prohibits the school from keeping special information from me. And 2003 Legislation Act of the Family and School Partnership Act, which gives me the right to access Chad's records. I'm deeply troubled and fearful, and the denial of my rights has put obstacles in the past for building Chad's future. I'm only trying to do what's right by Chad and to be involved in the academic success. Yet I face obstacles after obstacle from the school. Also, my biggest fear is that the school is making decisions without my consent as to who can pick him up and who's emergency contact, which is nobody. He has none. I mean,
You have 1 minute remaining.
Thank you. Okay, so the sad fact is today's society is more and more grandparents are raising their grandchildren. The U.S. Census Bureau reported in 2021 that 3.3% of adults, or 6.7 million people, are living with their grandchildren, and 32.7 are directly responsible for their care. You know, and it just goes on to say this is a problem. It's a growing problem, and I'm getting pushback from the school because of the terminology. They're trying to find reasons why I can't have access, and that just makes no sense. I mean, don't we all want these children to succeed? I just don't get it, and I need your help. And I do have contact from Chad, who has stepped up to say he's trying to work on it, and they're offering me Chad's.
Your time has expired.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
I appreciate it.
Thank you very much for bringing your concerns to the school board, Dr. Gullett.
Yes, Madam Chair, members of the board, it's my understanding Mr. Frazier has been involved, and legal counsel is looking at this, and so we'll update the board when we have information.
Okay, thank you very much. You heard the statement from the superintendent? Yeah. That she just shared?
Ms. Vanderpool, we appreciate your coming, and I know it's hard to see me over here with the screen. We have legal counsel reviewing your concerns to try to assist.
Let me make it clear to the board, since I don't want to get into the depths of a privacy of a particular issue, but I've followed this from the beginning. First of all, Ms. Vanderpool has not been denied access to Skyward to be able to view. She can view through his portal. She can view all the information that she needs to. She has that. Secondly, what she cannot do is she cannot access the emergency contact info to make changes because she's not the parent under law. She doesn't have a guardianship. However, the school is trying to work with her to make sure that she has all the access that she needs. As far as not receiving any kind of notifications, we checked our system, and in fact, she did receive notifications, both by phone and email. One of those, by email, she's actually blocked. So everything is there. It's just like we had a situation with a group foster home some years ago, in which case the student's information as to his grades and everything else is still accessible through the students in any of these situations, through the student's own portal account. Then as far as emergency contact information, she's already listed. And then as far as how anyone can pick up a student, that's something they would need to go into the front office. However, where there are parents that are in the equation, whether or not those parents are participatory, that being the primary parent also allows you to exclude other parents. We can't do that in this case. There are things that in order to be legally acceptable. In order for someone to be in that position of parent in which they can exclude other people or change records, they have to have paperwork from the court indicating and formalizing that. So that's the information that we've passed forward, and there may be steps that need to be taken on her end to make that happen. But we strive to make sure that in any case, students have their information, that if there's any kind of gap that a guardian or parent or caregiver needs, that those are filled at the school level. We've been in communication with the principal at the school, with Mr. Ayers, so we're continuing to work on that. And of course, Mr. Blackman, myself, and staff will continue to do what we need to make sure that all the information that any parent needs is given to them.
With respect to what you were saying,
ma'am.
sir.
Excuse me, ma'am. We did listen to you fully, and now we're speaking a little bit. And I just want to assure you on behalf of the school board that it is our expectation that staff continues to work collaboratively with you and you with them in the best interest of Chad. So thank you again for bringing it to our attention tonight. Really appreciate
Your time.
Thank you. Next speaker.
Jamie Clemens Hall.
Evening.
Hello, school board members. I am not a very good public speaker, so I will apologize now. I will let you know, I'm going to give you a little bit about myself. I think it'll help my case. I would like to share a little bit about myself, and that education has been my life. I have started teaching preschool at the age of 16. Then I moved up to elementary level 8 years ago. I was also Teacher of the Year for my school in the past, and hopefully this helps explain how much I care so deeply and why I'm bringing these concerns to you. Numerous complaints regarding Marion County Public Schools have been voiced this year. Today, I'm going to focus on 2 that are heavy on my heart because I feel that the district is setting us up for failure, students and teachers alike. Number 1, students with ESEs and 504, or ESE students with 504s and IEPs are not having their accommodations met. I cannot legally speak on other students, but I can speak on my son who is in middle school, and I have been in a fighting battle for 3 years. And yes, I have reached out to people on the school board and gone through the proper channels, and things have not been taken seriously, so now a lawyer will be involved in that, just so you're aware on that one. But it's also happening to other children that I'm seeing as a teacher. All right, the second complaint that I have as a teacher is our MTSS intervention programs in the elementary level. Our goal is for every student to succeed, correct? Right. Okay, so we buy programs that set a student-to-teacher ratio. This is why we have the positive research that backs that program, okay? But Marion County Public Schools triples the student-to-teacher ratio at this time, setting the students and teachers up for failure. Most of the programs call for 1 teacher to 6 students. Each year that I have taught, I've had 20 or above in my group. That's not acceptable. We need more staff. All right, so, sorry, I kind of added that in a little bit. I get emotional. I'm very passionate about this. I apologize. The origin of many of these issues can be traced back to the district level, and it is crucial for parents and Marion County Public Schools to understand this and cease directing their criticism at the dedicated teachers and staff who are already operating beyond their capacities. The Marion County Public Schools has demonstrated a lack of commitment to retaining capable employees and hiring sufficient staff. This has led to an excessive student-to-teacher ratio in classrooms countywide, causing undue strain on educators, particularly those responsible for students with special needs that have IEPs or 504s. The Marion County Public Schools' failure to hire and retain personnel can be attributed to the overwhelming workload that cannot be managed within the allotted time frame. Many teachers, including myself, sacrifice their personal time, often staying long after their scheduled hours, yet still struggle to keep up with the demands of their roles. Concerned parents and staff should focus their efforts on advocating for change at the district level, demanding increased support, fair compensation, a manageable workload for employees, as well as hiring additional staff. If each of these focused solutions were implemented, we would see vast improvements in student learning gains, and the two stated problems above would eventually disappear, which is our overall goal. I have to add that I know that you will say that you cannot find the staff to work, and I'm sorry this might hurt some people's feelings, but I can pull it up and look it on Skyward, you know. There are no positions open downtown, or very rarely are they. So I'm going to say this statement with my whole heart. These positions are always filled. So maybe we should treat our teachers and other staff like the employees downtown, and we might retain them. I hope you hear my plea for help before you lose yet another caring and, most important to you guys, highly effective teacher, because I have been since I've started with the county. I hope you guys have a wonderful night, and I hope you really listen to my concerns so that we can help students succeed, because that is my #1 goal every single day. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing your thoughts and concerns with us. It's appreciated.
Jamie Niswanger.
Good evening.
Hello, my name is Jamie Niswanger, and I'm actually kind of glad I got to go after that lady because I'm also going to be addressing the school board regarding employee pay problems. I am employed in the food service department. I have been employed in the transportation department. I have printed out a year worth of pay stubs. On these pay stubs, it indicates all of the lost time that has not been paid by Marion County. This is a common problem for all of your food service employees. So let me read you a statement from our handbook. In our employee handbook, under work schedules, section or letter B, letter E, every employee shall be on the job in full uniform, clocked in at their workstations at the designated start times, ready to work. For a food service employee to be ready to work, they have to have a hairnet, they have to have aprons, they have to wash their hands. It involves multiple minutes of work to be prepared in at your workstation. So we're clocking in at 6:55 if you start at 7, or vice versa, 5 minutes, go get ready, be ready to work. We're not paid. I have multiple pay stubs here. One of them I clocked out at 1:07. I was not paid for that 7 minutes. That's 12 minutes of lost time. On another pay stub, I clocked out at 1:07. I was paid for those 7 minutes. I called payroll, and they said they round down by the 5 minutes. 1:07, rounded down? Okay, so I read online. Online it states that if an employer is going to round, they need to round down and they need to round up. That way that they can ensure that over a period of time, all of the hours worked, the employees will have been paid for. Over a period of time, it just accumulated hours of work I was not compensated for. And therefore you have a dozen or more other food service employees that have uncompensated time. Also, there have been other things like trainings or orientations that ran over the 6 hours. Employees were not compensated for that either. I see that to be a problem, and I would like for that to be addressed. If it is you want employees clocking out at a set time, then tell them, but change the handbook. They will not be ready by the clock-in time. That is not feasible. I called payroll. Payroll told me that it's by the 5 minutes, and that's due to the amount of people clocking in and clocking out to allow for that time. But the handbook doesn't align with that. My pay stubs clocking out 1:07 and not getting paid doesn't align with that. I was working. If I'm clocking out after my work time, that's not because I'm waiting. We have 5 employees. 5 employees can clock out exactly when they're done. That is because that is worked time. So I'm not seeing anywhere where Marion County is compensating. If I work to 109, 108, I'm paid to 109 or 108. According to the rounding practices, you would round up to the nearest 15 or round down to the nearest 5. There is no rounding up. All of the rounding is in the favor of the Marion County School Board, and it saves you money. Everything I read online, federal and state laws, says that it needs to be mutual or in the employee's favor. But nothing I have found justifies that. I have paper after paper here justifying lost time. And then I have about multiple that just don't even account. There's some where you paid me exact time. I worked 3 minutes extra, I got paid 3 minutes extra. None of it adds up.
You have 1 minute remaining.
I was not able to find a single pattern. I was also not able to find a rounding policy. I've also read online that it states that if you have a rounding policy, you must notify your employees of that. I couldn't find it anywhere. Payroll couldn't tell me where it's at. It's not in our employee handbook. Nothing to justify that you should be able to round our time. Of course, you can if you're doing it legally and we're actually being compensated. The problem is we're not being compensated, but we're expected to work. I would like for that policy to be reviewed and for employees to be properly notified. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Niswonger, for bringing your concerns to the school board. Dr. Gullett?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Ms. Bostonellis is here, and I have her phone number, so we'll make sure that she gets it as she oversees payroll and food services.
Thank you very much. Does that conclude our speakers, Ms. Martinez?
Yes, Madam Chair.
Okay, thank you. All right, moving on. May I have a motion to adopt the 2023 through 2026 policies and procedures document?
Motion to approve.
Motion by Board Member Campbell. Second by Vice Chair Conrad. Dr. Gullett?
Thank you, Board. This document complies with Florida Statute 1003.57, requiring proposed procedures for the provisions of special instruction and services for exceptional students.
Thank you. I declare a public hearing. Is there anyone present who wishes to address the Exceptional Student Education 2023 through 2026 policies and procedures? Hearing none, open it up to discussion from the board. Any discussion from the board on the Exceptional Student Education 2023 through 2026 policies and procedures? Hearing no discussion, we'll go ahead and vote. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed, nay. Motion passes unanimously 5-0. Thank you. Moving on to some informational items. The school district uses a construction management delivery method, including a guaranteed maximum price, known as GMP, to perform construction work on the following projects. There were unused funds on these projects. Since the projects were delivered using a construction management delivery with the GMP format, unused dollars, regardless of the item, are returned to the owner. The unspent monies will be returned to the owner via change order, which will close the financial books on these projects. The superintendent has signed and approved the change orders. Per Board Policy 6345, the superintendent is authorized to approve and execute any construction contract change order that will increase the construction contract by $25,000 or less, or that will decrease the construction contract amount, provided that approval shall be, in his or her judgment, in the best interest of the school board. Such change orders shall be binding upon execution by the superintendent. The superintendent shall report each change order that he or she approved to the board at the board meeting that follows his or her approval. The superintendent's approval of the change orders shall be entered into the official minutes of the board meeting. First one is item 10.1, construct covered dining pavilion at Fort King Middle School. Change order 1, work authorization number 2, project 23.120. Item 10.2, construction of a heating, ventilation, air conditioning, HVAC system for the gymnasium at Fort King Middle School. Change order number 1, work authorization number 1, project 23-112. Item 10.3, construction of a new central warehouse, deductive change order number 3, amendment number 1, project 20-102. Next item, 10.4, district-wide fire alarm upgrades, deductive change order number 1, work authorization number 4, project 23-125. Next item is 10.5, elevator upgrades at Bellevue High, Lake Weir Middle, North Marion High, and Vanguard High Schools. Deductive change order number 1, work authorization number 2, Project 23-127. Item 10.6, replacement of Building 2 gymnasium roof at Fort King Middle School. Change order number 1, work authorization number 3, Project 23-135. And previously, 10.1, I said Project 23.120, but I believe that should be Project 23-120. Don't think that makes a difference, but just wanted to clarify. All right, we'll move on to our consent agenda items. May I have a motion to approve consent agenda items C12.1 through C19.4, with the exception of items D21.1, D21.2, D21.3, D21.4, D21.5, D21.6, D21.7, D21.8, D21.9, and D21.10 that have been placed under discussion, and item C17.1 that has been completely withdrawn from the agenda. May I have a motion, please?
Motion to approve.
Motion by Vice Chair Conrad.
Second.
Second by Board Member James. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes unanimously 5-0. Moving on to our discussion of our regular agenda items. Item D21.1. May I have a motion to approve the special data share agreement with Imagine Learning, LLC?
Motion to approve.
Motion by Vice Chair Conrad.
Second.
Second by Board Member James. Dr. Gullett, do you have information you'd like to share regarding this item?
I do. Thank you, Madam Chair. Members of the board, Dr. Brewer is going to come forward with a presentation, but I want to mention just a few items. This item, should you approve, is estimated to be about $1.9 million. It's a big ticket item. It provides support for our core curriculum and allows our schools to assign the Imagine Learning components to reinforce the standards. It also has a component for credit recovery in our secondary schools. And Dr. Brewer is here tonight to share some additional information on this item. Thank you.
Thank you. Good evening, excuse me, good evening, Chair Thrower, board members, and Dr. Gullett. I'd like to share some additional information about Imagine Learning. We commonly refer to that as Edgenuity. Okay, everyone shook their head. So Imagine Learning is Edgenuity. And in addition to the initial and credit recovery courses that are available to our students in grades 6 through 12, Imagine Learning also provides supplemental and intervention resources. And we're so excited about this opportunity because what this is going to allow our teachers to do in the classroom is to provide instructional restorative practices. So before a student has been deemed unsuccessful on a particular standard or benchmark, they can actually go to this particular module and receive additional interventions for that to ensure that all students are mastering the benchmarks before the end of the coursework. So we're excited about this addition to our Imagine Learning path. We also now have Imagine My Path, which is an adaptive math intervention that our students will take part of during their regular classroom time to provide more assistance with readiness, algebra readiness. So I'm available for any questions you might have concerning Imagine Learning.
Thank you, Dr. Brewer. Is there any discussion coming from the board? Vice Chair Conrad.
I just wanted to bring awareness, if I read this correctly, this goes through 6/30/27. So this contract, is that correct?
Yes, we were able to purchase a 3-year grant using ESSER funds, and so we did purchase the 3 years, and then we will provide professional development and different annual grants or funding.
Thank you, Dr. Brewer. I just wanted to bring attention to that as it's a large number.
Yes, thank you. Thank you for that.
And if I may, Madam Chair, I would also add Title III as well and some of the other funds that come from the state. Yes.
Thank you, Dr. Gullett.
Chair Thorough?
Yes.
Just to clarify as well, while a certified educator is on the other end of the screen with Edgenuity, we still have to staff the classroom with a certified educator.
Yes, ma'am. Dr. James, we do not participate in one particular part of Imagine Learning that is considered instructional services because that would allow our students to have solely an online virtual certified teacher. So the program that we take part of for Marion County Public Schools, we are responsible for the certified teacher attached to that course. Thank you for that question and clarification.
So all of our students who are using this platform are sitting in a classroom with a certified educator?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, Board Member James. Any other further discussion or commentary from the board? Hearing none, I think we're ready to vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes unanimously, 5 votes to 0. Thank you for the presentation, Dr. Brewer.
Thank you.
All right, moving on to item D21.2, may I have a motion to approve the required textbooks and instructional materials for dual enrollment?
Motion to approve.
Motion by Vice Chair Conrad.
Second.
Second by Board Member Campbell. Dr. Gullett, do you have information you'd like to share regarding this item?
Yes, I do, and Dr. Brewer is going to come forward again. Board, this item is $300,000, and then you know very clearly how committed we are to access and choice for our students, especially at dual enrollment is one of the ways we do that. So Dr. Brewer and Dr. Hamburg are here to share more about this item. Thank you.
Good evening, Chair Thrower, Vice Chair Conrad, board members, and Superintendent Gullett. This agenda item brings a great opportunity to share with you and the public the pathways that we have for our dual enrollment for our MCPS students. One of those pathways is offered through our very own Marion Technical College, and students, MCPS students, are permitted to take dual enrollment courses through MTC, and currently we have about 70 students participating in that particular pathway through MTC. Another pathway for dual enrollment is the Collegiate Academy, which is offered during the students' junior and senior years, and this is through our articulation agreement with the College of Central Florida. This pathway allows for students to take dual enrollment courses in a face-to-face setting at CF, and they can either work towards an AA degree program or an AS degree. Then we also have what we commonly refer to as traditional dual enrollment pathway, although all of these are traditional dual enrollment pathways. But the other way for dual enrollment pathways to occur is that students may also take a College of Central Florida course. They can either take it in person, or they can take it online, or they can take a combination of that. And currently, we have more than 150 students taking at least one online course through CF, and we have about 146 students taking at least one face-to-face course, and some of those students are taking dual courses as well. So you might have a student taking one face-to-face and two online, or vice versa. So in total, Marion County Public School students are participating in 70 college-level courses through CF. So the agenda item we're asking for your approval tonight is to purchase required textbooks and instructional materials for the students in the dual enrollment pathways, either through MTC or CF. And this would cover the fall term, which is the current term. It would cover the spring 2025 term, as well as the summer 2025 term.
Great, thank you. Nothing else to add, Dr. Brewer?
No. I'm just here for questions.
Okay, great, thank you. Any comment, discussion from the board? Go ahead, Board Member James.
I just want to thank for it. I was a high school AA student myself. I have memories of going to Valencia Community College with my mom and buying a lot of books, except we didn't have to buy any of them because they were all free as a dual enrollment student, and that is a treasure to the students who choose to participate in the program, and I'm proud to be able to support the alternative learning that occurs through it. So,
Thank you, Board Member James. Any other comment or discussion from the board?
Well said, Dr. James, because, yes, first-hand experience.
Yes, that's exactly what I was going to say, what she said. And the fact that career dual enrollment is also included is a big one for me. So thanks again. Yes, go ahead, please.
I just want to say, as a current dual enrollment student, I go to Westport High School, and I am actually enrolled in this program. I also started my junior year. And as the chair member has said, these textbooks are extremely expensive. I'm currently in a Spanish class where my textbook would have costed me $135. And through dual enrollment, it is free. These are amazing things and resources that we need as students to be able to achieve our AA and to be able to actually understand how college works, because again, these are very expensive textbooks, and as a student who comes from a Title I school, these are very, very incredibly grateful, sorry. And it is really expensive, and we are very, very happy to have these resources be free for dual enrollment students.
Thank you, Student Board Representative Diaz, for your great comment. Is there anything else?
Yes, so I would like to say that I was a dual enrollment student back in my old school back in Miami-Dade, and I'd like to comment on what Ms. Diaz said, that it is very expensive. The textbooks are very expensive, so it is great that dual enrollment students get it for free. And I know they range from like about $100 to $200, and not a lot of people can afford that, especially people coming from low income or like from a Title I community. So it is very appreciated that we get these resources for free. And yeah, that's basically it. Thank you.
Thank you, Student Board Representative Bawani. Is there any other comment or discussion from the board? All right, I think we're ready to vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes unanimously, 5 votes to 0. Thank you. All right, moving on to item D21.3. May I have a motion to approve the expenditure increase for bid 402 4AH Fresh Produce for Food Service term contract?
Motion to approve.
Motion by Board Member James.
Second.
Second by Vice Chair Conrad. Dr. Gullett, you have information you'd like to share regarding this item?
Yes, thank you, Board. You will recall that we've had several presentations recently, and Ms. Belcher is going to come forward and share some more information tonight. Obviously, we've switched gears into food services here for a moment, and the cost for this item is $750,000, and Ms. Belcher is going to share a bit about why we have the increase in costs and also how we're really working hard to increase access of the fresh produce to our students in our schools. So thank you, Ms. Belcher.
Good evening, Madam Chair Thrower, Vice Chair Conrad, board members, and Dr. Gullett. Thank you for the opportunity to be here tonight. Meal participation is on the rise, so this is a good thing, but we're also seeing an increase in produce prices due to some labor shortages, poor harvest, and fuel costs. But even with these challenges, we're gearing up for an exciting and a fun school year. This budget does support the National School Lunch Program, the Supper Program, and our Fresh Fruit and Vegetable Program. We've already seen about a 5 to 6% increase from the numbers from last year, so it's a little higher than I was anticipating. It does support our partnerships with the USDA DoD Fresh Program, Puzicki's Produce, the Hospital District, and the Fans Club, and our most recent community partner, Crohn's Cradle Conserve. These partnerships aim to bring in locally sourced fresh produce, and through the collaboration with our partners, the Food and Nutrition Department is integrating a Florida Harvest of the Month initiative. This initiative aims to encourage students to eat more fruits and vegetables through promoting seasonal eating, healthy diets, and agricultural education. So in October, beginning in October, which by the way is National Farm to School Month, we're going to highlight a fruit or a vegetable that is locally grown in Florida on our menu. We're going to display educational information via our signage and post interesting facts about the produce and where in Florida the produce was grown and which farm grew it and harvested it. What's equally exciting this year is Marion County Public Schools has 18 schools participating in the FFVP programs, which is the Fresh Fruit and Vegetable Program. This is a 50% increase from last school year. So it's a huge deal. As you can see, we're preparing as best as we can to meet the demands of all of our nutritional programs, our farm to school initiatives, and our nutritional needs of our students. So we thank you for your continued support.
Thank you. All right, is there any comment or discussion from the board regarding this item? All right, yes, please go ahead.
Thank you. I'd just like to say that all these collaborations and partners such as Fans, because I know there was Fans in my school, this is very critical for students to be served fresh quality produce because it is very crucial for them to be growing and developing at this age because this is a very critical time period for them to be growing and their nutrition is very important in that case. So it's especially very important for their academic, mental, and physical performance throughout the school day. I know a lot of people don't really eat the school lunch sometimes because they sometimes say like, oh, it's like this or it's like that, you know? And I feel like having fresh produce and more healthier choices for them will really help them perform better throughout their day and overall have a better academic school life. Thank you.
Thank you, Student Board Representative Boweni. Did you have something to add, Board Member Diaz? Okay, thank you. I made a great statement, the student on your right, and I'm glad that you spoke to this because I do often wonder, you know, with the tremendous efforts that are being made to improve our school lunches and the nutrition and the whole thing. We all know we are what we eat, and sometimes what we eat makes us what we are. But your input is appreciated. Thank you. Anything else? Yes, go ahead, Board Member James.
I will just add, my kindergartner started school, I guess, 12 days ago, and she wants nothing to do with the lunch I pack. She is all about the school lunch line, everything about it. She wakes up on Friday so excited, apparently pizza every Friday maybe, I don't know, but she comes home raving about the school lunch. So I just wanted to give a shout out because Willa James is very excited about the lunch line.
Good to hear.
That's right, that's right. The consumers are liking it.
Yes.
All right, anything else from the board? Okay, we'll go ahead and vote. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Motion passes unanimously 5-0. Thank you. All right, moving on to item D21.4. May I have a motion to renew bid 3881AH, new and used books, educational materials, and other related materials term contract?
Motion to approve.
Motion by Vice Chair Conrad.
Second.
Second by Board Member Cummings. Dr. Gullett, you have information you'd like to share regarding this item?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Just briefly, this item cost is $400,000 if needed. It's a third renewal, and we're just bringing awareness to the fact that I think not everyone understands that our purchasing department is committed to utilizing our funds very efficiently, and we utilize used books and materials and not just new ones. So that's what I wanted to share on this item. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Gullett. Is there any comment from the board? I, for one, did not know that. And I actually do remember a time when used books were discarded, and I was hopeful that they were going to some places where they could really be, you know, repurposed. So that was really great to hear. Thank you. All right, if there's no more discussion, we'll go ahead and vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes unanimously 5-0. Moving on to item D21.5, may I have a motion to approve the First Amendment to the School Resource Officer Agreement with the City of Ocala?
Motion to approve.
Motion by Board Member Campbell, second by Board Member Cummings. Dr. Gullett, you have information you'd like to share regarding this item?
I do. Actually, Board, the next two items, Mr. McFadden is going to present some items on. They're related. I know you have to vote on them separately. The first one, 21.5, pertains to having an additional SRO at Westport High School, which would increase the numbers from 2 to 3 at a cost of about $84,000. Mr. McFadden.
Good evening, Chair Thrower, board members, Dr. Gullett. This particular contract or this item deals with two different topics. The first is the crisis intervention training that was required. As you may be aware, we had an audit recently, and that audit found that we had a finding where our school resource officers was not in compliance by having the crisis intervention training. We worked with the College of Central Florida, the Sheriff's Office, Ocala Police Department, Bellevue Police Department to get all of those officers in a training class at the College of Central Florida. And it was a 3-day class that was mandated, and we were able to get every school resource officer that had not received the training trained over the summer. So that finding now has been complete, and we're in good standing. The next part of the contract deals with, the amendment deals with the adding additional SROs at the schools. As you're aware, the state mandates that we have a school resource officer or a safe school officer in every school. As a district, there's 4 different ways you can meet that mandate. One is school resource officers, better known as SROs. The next is the school-based police officers, guardians, or school security guards. Our district has chosen to meet the mandate by contracting with the Marion County Sheriff's Office, the City of Ocala Police Department, and the City of Bellevue Police Department. Each school has at least one SRO, with several schools having two, and now most recently with this addition, Westport will have three. We renewed our 3-year contracts with these 3 agencies in 2022, but they will expire on June 30th of 2025. And here's a breakdown of those current costs. With the Marion County Sheriff's Office in 2022 and 2023, we had 39 school resource officers at $75,000 each, totaling $2,925,000. With the addition of the SRO this year at one of our schools, 2024, we'll have 40 school resource officers at $75,000 each, totaling $3 million. Again, that's with the one additional SRO in the county. The City of Ocala Police Department in 2022, we had 18 SROs at the cost of $88,777, totaling $1,597,000. In 2023, we remain at 18 SROs, but they lowered the cost because of the vehicle cost that was taken out of it. So that cost was $84,366,000 for a total of $1,518,000. In 2024, which is the amendment to this contract, we will have 19 SROs, but keep in mind that one that was added at Westport because of the outplacement program here at MTI, we had to add a second SRO. So that'll bring our total SROs for the City of Ocala to 20 at $84,366 each for a total of $1,687,000. So the City of Bellevue, they have one SRO, and in 2022, that cost was roughly $65,000. In 2023 was roughly a little over $68,000, and in 2024, $71,827. So for 2022, the total SRO cost was roughly $4.6 million. In 2023, it was roughly $4.5 million. 2024, it'll be roughly $4.8 million. And what we did was, in preparation for the 2 new elementary schools that will open in 2025, we added those costs because we have to renew this contract for 2025. So we're estimated cost for SROs will be roughly over $4 million, roughly $5.5 million. We're anticipating a 10% increase, although they haven't given us the number of what it's going to cost when we renew the contract. Historically, it's been anywhere from 10 to 12, 15% increase. So we're looking at roughly $5.4 to $5.5 million. So this investment ensures that every campus is meeting the state mandate and has the necessary safety measures in place to create a secure environment for our students and staff. If you have any questions, need any clarification, please let me know.
Thank you. We'll start with questions. Board Member Campbell, then Board Member James.
Sure. Just for clarification, so the item we're voting on this evening, actually the contract does just say 19 SROs. So I anticipate that we'll have another amendment coming forth, which you won't necessarily have to speak to because
Okay.
you've given us all that information right now. But just for clarification for the public, we're approving 19 SROs with the City of Ocala this evening, and then the 20th will be added at a later amendment.
Yes, ma'am, that amendment is being approved by the city, and once it gets to us, we'll bring it back to you for approval.
Thank you.
Thank you, Board Member Campbell. Board Member James.
Thank you. At a later date, that's not tonight, I, as a board member, would love to receive information that compares how we fund SROs in this district compared to what other districts that are like size, how they fund their SROs. Because I do know that in other districts, it is more of a shared community cost and not just a cost on the school board. And I would love to have a better understanding and be able to articulate that better in the community as to how districts that are in similar like size to us are navigating the cost. Because I do wholeheartedly believe that a good guy with a gun on a campus is always the best decision. And I feel this strongly for myself, but I tell people all of the time, Your child is safer in our schools than they are at Walmart. At our schools, they're behind multiple locked doors, and there's an armed guard. Multiple, probably, depending on the campus if it has guardians. So I believe in the way that we are protecting our campuses, but I would love to understand a full picture of how across the state like-sized districts are funding this.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you, Board Member James. Vice Chair Conrad.
Just a quick highlight. Ms. Boston Ellis has spent a lot of time going over the budget with us recently, and I just wanted to say thank you to the community because both of these come from general fund and also our referendum dollars. And so, as many of you know, the state mandates many things for us to do and then does not pay for them. And so I'm just very grateful for the referendum dollars that we can have our officers on staff, and we're able to add officers where needed. They keep us moving forward. So thank you for that.
Thank you, Vice Chair Conrad. Student Board Member Diaz.
Yes, I do attend Westport High School, and unfortunately, we have had a recent incident where we have needed additional security from our SROs. We recently had a fight where it escalated to injuring an administrator, and this is something that should never have happened to begin with. This fight had just escalated completely out of control, and I do believe that having an additional SRO, especially for my campus, is a way better thing to have. Westport has 700 seniors, and that's an estimate. And this is like it for every class. We have around 700 juniors, 700 sophomores, 700 freshmen. It is a lot of students, and there is not enough security to rationalize, I guess, the amount of students that we have compared to SROs, to administrators. There's just too many of us and not as many protection. And these SROs are here to protect not just administrators, but us as students. Unfortunately, the world we live in is a very dangerous place. But as chair members had mentioned, our schools are safer than a Walmart. And I believe that is a true statement where we do have SROs who are good people to protect us rather than out there in a Walmart where we just have a random person who could possibly have, hopefully not, but a gun. And I believe that this having an additional SRO would be able to help us on campus.
Yes.
Thank you. Any other discussion or comments from the board? Okay. Hearing none, we're ready to vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes unanimously 5-0. Thank you. Moving on to D21.6, may I have a motion to approve the First Amendment to the School Resource Officer Agreement with the Marion County Sheriff's Office?
So move.
Moved by Board Member Cummings.
Second.
Second by Board Member Campbell. Dr. Gullett, any additional information you'd like to share?
I think you did a very thorough job. Thank you.
Yep, I agree. Anything else from the board? All right, hearing none. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes unanimously 5-0. Moving on to D21.7, may I have a motion to approve the agreement with C.E. Mendez Foundation Incorporated?
You skip.
You skipped 21.7.
I have 21.7 as the agreement with C.E. Mendez Foundation.
Nope.
No, ma'am.
Board of Directors for the Public Education Foundation.
And I have Board of Directors for Public Education Foundation as D21.9.
Nope.
The script is wrong.
So we're going to do it as listed on the published agenda. So we shall move on to D21.7, which is the 2024-2025 Board of Directors for the Public Education Foundation of Marion County. May I have a motion, please?
So move.
Moved by Board Member Cummings. Second by Vice Chair Conrad. Okay, Dr. Gullett, do you have anything you'd like to share regarding this item?
I don't have anything additional on this item. Thank you, Chair.
Okay, we'll open it up to discussion from the board. Is there any discussion from the board regarding this item?
All the vote.
Go ahead, Vice Chair Conrad.
I just want to start by saying thank you. Megan, thank you, Ms. Magmal, for this beautiful outline, for all of the things that the foundation provides for our students, for our staff, for the district. And so I continue to be amazed at all of the work you're able to do and the reach that you have within Marion County. So thank you for all the work. I see your team is still here, and so thank you to all of you. I think it was mentioned at one time that the Public Ed Foundation is the most effective foundation around. I can't tell you thank you enough. So thank you for the work that you do.
Thank you, Vice Chair. Any other comment or discussion from the board? All right, I do have just a couple of quick questions. If Megan, you might be able to come up for a moment. Thank you. Good evening.
Good evening, Chair Thrower, school board members, Superintendent Dr. Gollett.
And appreciate having you tonight and appreciate celebrating you earlier this evening. And I don't think I could have said it any better than Vice Chair Conrad. What a tremendous partnership we do have. And tonight we are looking at approving board members. And how long is their term?
3-year term with the option for renewal and vote again from the Board of Directors for a second term of a total of 6 years.
Okay, great. And just for the public knowledge, how do the nominations occur? How does one become a member other than we say yes and vote them in?
Great question, and wonderful to share with community members as well. We have a board currently of 27, but our bylaws do state we can have up to 30. So during the year, if there is a vacancy, then the board can choose through the executive board and committee to consider nominations for replacement of vacancies. But standard process is that during spring of each year, nominations are accepted through a nominating committee. Our executive board, which would be comprised of our president, president-elect, immediate past president, treasurer, and chair of committees. So that would be our investment committee, finance committee, as well as fund development. They would be the governing body to accept those nominations from community members, really anyone who would like to be considered to serve. Obviously, up to 30 in total can be considered. And once that process goes through the nominating committee and executive board, it then moves to the full board. And it does require a full board of directors vote. The executive director of the Public Education Foundation, while serving on that board list, is not a voting member of that process. And that includes from nomination, acceptance, or any other regarding a board member. We do have 3 additional ex officio members who serve on the board, and they are our Golden Apple Academy chairperson, elected by our Golden Apple teacher leadership team, our Teacher of the Year, as indicated from our annual Teacher of the Year Golden Apple process, and then the school board, you have school board chair or school board vice chair as designee to serve on the foundation's board of directors, so that we ensure that you are a part of our conversations and the work that we are doing. That position is non-voting, though. The superintendent of schools, a permanent seat per our bylaws, is a voting member of our board.
Awesome, thank you for that, because I'm not sure, we all know the great things that you do, but we don't all know the background of how that all happens and how people are selected and what qualities and attributes you really look for. It sounds to me like the nominating committee and the executive board work on that piece, and that you stay kind of arm's length from that as the way your bylaws are written. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right. Thank you for helping me understand that. And then I guess that my last question would be, because there's up to 30 members that can be on the board, what would be some of the qualities and characteristics that you would be looking for and would insist upon for someone to be serving the Public Education Foundation?
They would be qualities that we would look for in community members who are involved in philanthropic organizations, who are committed to fundraising and helping support the students and teachers in Marion County. And that can look quite different depending on each board member. But of course, we want to see a strong showing from our business community, our civic organizations, and also community volunteers. We have a good amount of retired educators and retired business individuals who now at a later stage in life have the extra time to commit to give back to most likely the school district who helped them achieve success at the time of their employment.
Awesome. And you guys have certainly done an amazing job with the fundraising and directly benefiting our children, and also getting business partners for each school. It really is commendable, and something that I've always admired about this organization and respected is the level of integrity and honor and ethical behavior that each and every board member has demonstrated in the past. And it would definitely be my expectation and also prayer that that will continue for many years to come. We have so many wonderful positive things to celebrate, and we can't have enough good people out there representing that in every way, every day. So thank you very much. Appreciate the background you shared.
Thank you. Our board of directors are champions for our school district and the teachers and students we serve, and so are the amazing staff members who stayed back after talking about our annual Pop and Drop event and wanted to be here of support. So thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Magamol, and thank you again for everything you and your team does. It's greatly appreciated. All right, anything else from the board? All right, hearing none, we're ready to vote. All those in favor say aye.
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 Nay.
Motion. Oh, okay. I said all those in favor say aye. I thought I heard 5 votes to 0, but we have 4 votes in approval and 1 dissenting, which is Board Member Campbell. All right, thank you. You have that, Elena? All right, thank you. All right, moving on to, let's see, we are now on item D 21.10.
No, but 8.
Mendez.
Back to Mendez. Okay. All right, so it's D, I have it as, on this anyway, D 21.7. Correct?
It's
21.8.
D 21.7, agreement with C.S. Mendez Foundation.
The confusion is as published on board docs, the numbers got switched between 21.8 and 21.7 and 21.9. So D 21.7 is listed as 21.8 on the agenda. That is agreement with C.E. Mendez Foundation.
Thank you for that clarification. All right, may I have a motion, please?
So move.
Motion by Board Member Cummings, second by Vice Chair Conrad. Dr. Gullett, did you have anything on this item?
I do, thank you, Madam Chair. The cost for this item is $105,000. Ms. Del Nodal is here to provide some specific information as we look at how we're serving our students and conflict resolution in our classrooms. So Ms. Del Nodal will provide additional information and context to this item. Thank you.
Good evening, Board Chair Thrower, board members, and Superintendent Dr. Gullett. The C.E. Mendez Foundation brings us the Too Good Programs curricula. Through this agreement, we seek to purchase the Too Good for Violence program. This is an evidence-based curriculum designed to help students develop the social skills and emotional regulation needed for effective conflict resolution, bullying prevention, anger management, and respect for self and others. The program uses a variety of engaging and age-appropriate lessons to teach skills and offer students opportunities for practice. The lessons support and reinforce our current character and resiliency education efforts, emphasizing the importance of building positive social skills and supportive relationships. All schools will receive grade-appropriate kits to use as additional intervention resources on their campuses, as will MTI and our past programs. Professional learning opportunities have been tentatively scheduled for our school-based mental health providers, including our school counselors, school social workers, and school psychologists. We also are including our student service managers. As with each intervention, we will be devising intervention guides to support implementation on campuses, as well as providing additional support and coaching as needed. According to the data for the 2023-2024 school year, inappropriate behavior and disruptive conduct were the top 2 disciplinary infractions. However, physical altercations accounted for 7% of all infractions, and disrespect for others accounted for 6% of all infractions. A total of 6,329 students received at least 1 day of out-of-school suspension, and 5,620 students received at least 1 day of in-school suspension, leading to missed instructional time and opportunities in the classroom. Our suspension rate for offenses of disrespect, disruptive conduct, and mutual fighting were higher last year than the year prior. It is our hope and goal that the implementation of a program to support positive social interactions, respect for others, and effective problem-solving and conflict resolution will decrease the number of discipline offenses and suspensions, improve our attendance rates, and further promote a positive and safe learning environment.
Thank you. Is there any discussion from the board regarding this item? All right, hearing none. Thank you for the presentation, and thank you for providing the context and information for our challenges and everything that we're committed to doing, to help students succeed academically and behaviorally. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, ready to vote? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Motion passes unanimously, 5 votes to 0. Thank you. Moving on, and I'm going to take a chance here. D21.9. All right. May I have a motion to approve the agreement with Turnitin LLC?
Motion to approve.
Motion by Board Member Campbell.
Second.
Second by Vice Chair Conrad. Dr. Gullett, you have information you'd like to share?
Thank you. Yes, this is the last item I have for discussion from my seat, board. $54,000. This is software that we are asking for our schools to be able to utilize as it identifies potential plagiarism and artificial intelligence. It also provides feedback for improvement for our students. And Dr. Brewer had some additional items she wanted to share as well. Thank you.
Thank you. Good evening again, Dr. Brewer.
Good evening. Thank you, Dr. Gullett. Turnitin is a software, just like Dr. Gullett stated, that allows our teachers and students valuable information. When a student submits the work to this software, the work is then matched with this enormous database. And then from there, the teachers and students receive a report that shows what could possibly have been plagiarized, and hopefully it was not intentional. But then the student is able to take that feedback and make adjustments. This is crucial with our advanced coursework, especially with our IB and our Cambridge programs, because they have an end-of-the-year cumulative project that requires this partnership with Turnitin. So we're asking for $54,000. Each school is responsible in that fee, and they earn the fees from the Cambridge and the IB students passing these exams. So the funds are coming directly from those weighted FTE dollars.
Thank you, Dr. Brewer. Is there any, yes?
Not a comment, not a question, just a comment to say college is already using this, so we're preparing our students to know what that looks like whenever they get to the next level, because every piece of anything that they turn in will go through Turnitin. So grateful that we're bringing this to our students here. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other comments or discussion from the board? All right, hearing none. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes unanimously, 5 votes to 0.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, moving on to item D, 21.10. May I have a motion to approve expenditure increase request for bid 4051 GM Tree Trimming Services?
Motion to approve.
Motion by Board Member Campbell.
Second.
Second by Board Member James.
Chair?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, I'll be recusing myself from this item. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Vice Chair Conrad. Is there any other discussion from the board? Okay, hearing none. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes unanimously, 4 votes to 0, with Vice Chair Conrad recusing. All right, moving along. I think we've covered it. To board committee reports and concerns. We'll start with a few meeting reminders. The next administrative briefing and work session has been scheduled for September 5th, 2024 at 9 a.m. There is a special school board meeting scheduled for September 10th, 2024 at 5:01 p.m. The next school board meeting is scheduled for September 10th, 2024 at 5:30 p.m. The following administrative briefing and work session has been scheduled for September 19th, 2024 at 9 a.m. All right, moving on. Ms. Martinez, anything from your seat?
No, Madam Chair.
Thank you. Anything from legal?
All is well, nothing from legal. Thank you.
Thank you. Dr. Gullett?
Thank you. I'll be very brief tonight, Board. Tomorrow is our first early release, 2 hours for professional learning and collaboration. I was in a school today, and the teachers and the principal were having conversation about sending home reminders to their families, so I thought it was important to go ahead and do that here as well. So looking forward to having our team have time to collaborate and plan for instruction for our students. So just a reminder, that is tomorrow, the first one of the year, and appreciate everything everyone's done to make this a successful start of the school year. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, Ms. Diaz, anything from your seat?
No.
Thank you. We appreciated your participation tonight. Ms. Bawani, anything from your seat?
No, ma'am, thank you.
Thank you, and we appreciate your participation tonight. Board Member James.
Thank you. Good evening. To follow up Dr. Gullett's comment, Labor Day is very early this year, so we are closed on Monday because Monday is Labor Day, which is hard to believe because I feel like it shouldn't be Labor Day already, but it is. So campuses will be closed. It's a 3-day weekend, so everyone remember that as well. I just have a few little nuggets I want to share. Earlier tonight, one of our student board members spoke to the incident at Westport High School, and I just want to say from my board seat, and Dr. Gullett and I talked briefly about this earlier, I want the community to understand that this board member, and I believe I reflect all of the board, but I will speak to myself right now in saying that I fully expect our staff, and I know that our staff will implement our code of conduct to the full extent that it is able to be implemented, and the consequences for students who assault our personnel are going to be as strict as they possibly can. The violence in our schools has got to stop. Violence is never the answer. Less than 5% of the students on our campuses are causing the majority of the disruptions, and the students who are videoing it are going to be found, and they are also going to receive a consequence. It is not that hard to figure out who made the video, and our teams work very diligently to figure it out. And videoing a fight also receives a consequence. And putting it on social media, where then people who may very well not want their self on a social media platform, like an Instagram page that was brought to my attention today, which just shares fights at Westport High School. It is not okay. Those students that are in that video who may have just been a passerby are now potentially able to go viral on a social media site, and it's disrespectful to their personal autonomy. So I just want the community to know that from my board seat, I fully intend to do whatever is necessary for students who choose to bring violence to our campuses. Something else that has been, speaking of social media, going around is this discussion about homework. And I wrote this really long post, just like I would call it a blog post. And then I didn't post it because I was full of passion. But I want to say this. I did my Sarah math, and 17% of the day during the school year, the student is in front of the teacher receiving instruction. That's 6 hours a day, 5 days a week, 180 days for the school year. 17% of 180 days. If you take it to 365 days, the whole calendar year, it's only 12%. If you work in the fact that they sleep, we're still looking at 30 to 40% of the day is spent with the educator. The rest of the day is spent somewhere else. Our families have to begin and continue to participate in the educational experiences of their children. If it's taking your child 2 hours to do 2 pages of math homework, you need to contact your school and have a discussion with your guidance counselor and your teacher, because there is a greater issue that we need to address to help meet your child where they are. But 20 or 30 minutes a night to help make sure that your student is getting support at home to continue to grow and enrich their academic experience is, in my opinion, absolutely appropriate. So I just want our community to come together and support our educators. Our educators cannot make miracles happen with 17% of the day. They just cannot. And as a community, I want, as parents, us to come together and support our children. And I know we all have so much going on. I'm not unique in that. But we have to find 20 or 30 minutes a night to read with our children. We have to turn the TVs off. We have to step away from our phones, and we just have to engage with our kids. So that is my prayer for this community, that we will continue to believe in education and support our educators in our homes. That is all I have for my seat tonight. Thank you.
Thank you, Board Member James. And I can say as board chair, I concur. And I'm seeing head nods from everybody else too. It is truly a shared effort, and we'll all benefit. Board Member Cummings.
Good evening. Just a few things. One, let me start with one. We're in our third week of school, and I continue to look at attendance reports. Y'all, I don't like leaning into a microphone, talking to the microphone all the time. So, but anyway, I continue to look at attendance reports. I continue to look at certain schools that have tardies. Parents, and this is to our community, we need our kids to get to school. We need to get to school on time, because it's becoming an issue when these kids are not getting on time, because then we start getting these emails saying that they're not eating breakfast. And if they're not eating breakfast, then they're sitting in class hungry all day. So we want to make sure, I want to stress the importance of getting them on time so they can get their breakfast. And even if they get there late, there are supposed to be, pick up a snack or something and grab and go and continue the class. That should be happening at every school, especially our elementary school. So parents, I understand life happens, but we got to get the kids to school on time. And with that expectation of the students being on time, there's also an expectation of the staff being on time as well. Recently, I got some pictures of staff getting there late after the bell is rung. If we have to lead from the front. We have to lead from the front. We can't lead from the back. So if there's an expectation for our students, we need to have that same expectation for our staff. That's number one. Number two, and Dr. James, you kind of hit on it. It's disturbing to know that our student population, some students in our student population are enacting these acts of violence against each other, and it's rolling over into getting to the staff. Our student representative mentioned earlier tonight about the incident that happened at Westport on yesterday. There's another incident that happened today. There's fights every day. I don't understand how you come to school to fight, and why. What is going on so bad that you got to fight at school? I understand people have disagreements, but apparently we haven't given them some other skills rather than fighting. And these fights are extremely violent. And I'm in agreement with Dr. James. There has to be a punishment. So parents, know that if your kids are getting involved in these situations, these violent incidents where there's 2 and 3 people on one and their blood is being drawn, there has to be a consequence for this. So don't come and try to, those things should not be happening. And then when staff get involved and staff are accosted and staff are battered, that takes it to a whole nother level. And then with that being said, we currently have the alternative school here at MTI. So those kids are going to be moved from out of the regular school. They're going to get sent here. I got an issue with what's going on here because I'm concerned about the support here. And I think I've said it several times. I mentioned it in meetings, Dr. Gullett. I'm concerned that we make sure that this school, and Dr. Campbell, this is one of your schools. Mm-hmm. I'm concerned that we make sure that this school has all the supports that it needs to deal with this student population. This is a different type of student population. All of them are different, these students. And so now you have a large number of kids that are having issues on one campus. That exacerbates the problem. we have to make sure that we're doing what we can, and we're in a neighborhood. These kids can walk off campus. Our campus is kind of an open campus. They can walk off campus at any time and be in the community and gone. We have to make sure that we're doing whatever we can. And I know this has kind of came about on a short notice. I truly appreciate the staff here at MTI and all those who have been doing a yeoman's job on trying to make sure they maintain this campus. But if we don't deal with this very, very, very fast, something's going to happen. And I'm not a prophet, but I can tell you, I can see common sense things. When staff are dealing with fights and dealing with things every day here at this campus, I appreciate what Mr. Jones is doing, and he's an educator. He believes that all these kids can be educated. I do too, but we got to make sure that the environment is conducive for education, and the environment is not conducive for education. So I have a couple proposals, and I'm just hoping that someone would listen and take some of these proposals and consider them. One, we have the dads on duty over at Fort King. We need them here. We need them here. So community, parents, volunteers, dads, whomever, we need those gentlemen here on this campus to help with this student population. And then, Dr. Gullett, there's another thing that we can have. On this campus, we also have a large body of administrators, male administrators. And this is not to sound chauvinistic, but it is what it is. We know that these kids are going to change classes. We know they're going to be moving out and about. Mr. Powers is here. Other males are here. At those times, we may need to have those gentlemen step out and be in the hallways while these kids are moving around this campus, because sometimes just seeing a person can be a deterrent. And I'm thinking that if all the men stepped out of their office 2 or 3 times a day when these kids are moving about this campus, maybe some of this stuff could be curtailed. We got to do something different. Every staff member on this campus needs a walkie-talkie or something, because if Jimmy's running and Mr. Jones is way back there, he can't get to Jimmy, but he could call up front and say, hey, Mr. Whoever, he's coming your way. We need to stop him. There's things that we have to think about, common sense things that we have to think about into stopping this stuff. And then I want to say this too. I was talking to y'all ain't gonna like this. Teresa, you definitely ain't gonna like this one. I was talking to someone the other day, and I'm like, y'all need hazard pay, because y'all are getting whooped every day, basically. This staff is getting, those other schools, there were some schools that got like some type of stipends and stuff. These people we're gonna lose some staff. I've talked to folks that say, if I got to go into a classroom with these kids again, it might be my last day. So we got to start thinking about what's going on here at this campus. It was dropped on us at the last minute. We're working it out the best way we can, but we got to take a serious look at this. And I'm asking that we come back with some solutions in the next work session very soon, to know what we're going to do here at MTI, because we can't continue to go down this road. We got little kids, and we got big kids on the same campus. Something has to be done. Those are my comments.
I just want to say one thing. As a former high school administrator, Reverend Cummings, your points are very valid. As a former high school administrator, what you do on a high school campus is somebody comes over the radio and says, class changes in 2 minutes, everyone take their post. If you've been at a school where Ken McIntyre is the leader, you hear it, right? Because he is very conditioned into that, even Denella Middle School. Oh, time to everybody get up, take your post. This campus is full of current and former administrators and leaders. I wholeheartedly, completely agree that there needs to be a way, because students make way less poor choices when they see lots of adults. So if every administrator, if they're not in a meeting, or honestly, if they are in a meeting, because when we're at a school, it doesn't matter if you're in a meeting. The meeting ends when class change occurs. So I would love to see a plan for how that's going to be implemented.
Thank you, Board Member James. Board Member Cummings? That conclude?
That concludes my comments.
Okay, thank you, sir. All right, Board Member Campbell.
Thank you. I completely concur with what you've just said, Reverend Cummings. Thank you for coming not just with the problem, but with the solutions. I love that. Thank you. I want to reference something that Ms. Neiswanger said tonight in her public comment. She talked about payroll, and I believe some of her comments further validate why we have to get automated payroll and timekeeping. If employees are giving out information that's inconsistent because of our non-automated processes, that is not acceptable. And so I implore this board to work with district staff this year to make this happen. We did just have the internal audit that identified all of the challenges we have, and that is all because of no automation in that department. I know it's going to come at a significant cost, board. We need to know that's coming at a significant cost, but we really have to do better by our employees and get this fixed. And my hope is, Dr. Gullett, that it can be fixed this year. Okay, moving on. I want to say congratulations to Chair Thrower and Dr. Gullett because they gave an amazing presentation at the CEP breakfast last week, and it made me so proud to be a part of this team because there are so many great things happening in our district. So thank you for representing us well. I know the superintendent already highlighted this partner in her weekly wrap-up last week, but I also want to give a shout out to the College of Central Florida. They had a great Careers in Colleges Expo last week. My high school senior and junior had lots of productive conversations, and for that I, as a parent, am grateful, but also grateful for all of the hundreds of people that were there working in addition to the hundreds of students and families that walked through. It was an amazing night. Attended the Boys and Girls Club luncheon with several of you, and that also was a wonderful partner that we have that is making such a difference in our students' lives, and so many of our students are impacted by the good work they do. The Service Academy event, I believe Vice Chair Conrad referenced the other day that Representative Kat Kamick and Representative Michael Waltz put on at Forest High School. And honestly, what I wanted to say about that was just continuing to be amazed at the discipline and dedication that is required for those students who are applying for West Point and Air Force Academy and Naval Academy and all the others. Just really grateful for those students that have chosen that pathway of service, because it is such discipline that it takes for those students, even in their application process. It is not easy. And hearing all the things that were required, it was kind of astounding. And just knowing that through graduations over last year and the previous years, the numbers of our students that are going into these academies, these service academies, it really is just amazing. And I'm just grateful for the life of service that many of our students have chosen. Tomorrow is the Take Stock in Children kickoff tomorrow evening, and next week mentor meetings start back, and I for one can't wait because my mentee is like, why do we have to wait until after Labor Day? So we're really excited, she and I are, that we can start our meetings back tomorrow, and looking forward to seeing her tomorrow evening as well. And I'm certain there are still students that are in need of mentors. And since we've had Public Education Foundation here so much this evening, they're still here. They're nodding their heads yes. So if anyone is hearing this at the sound of my voice, if you're in the community and interested in giving back just 30 minutes a week to a student who desperately could use your support and your mentorship, please reach out to the Public Ed Foundation. Trust me, it is much more rewarding for you than it will ever be for them. It really is an rewarding experience. Acceleration Academy graduation is also this week, so I'm looking forward to celebrating with those students. I know we've already had one of those, but looking forward to another one because it was really spectacular the last time. And the last thing I wanted to mention, board, is I'm currently in the process of registering for National Summit on Education. It will be held in Oklahoma City, November 13th through the 15th. I attended a couple of years ago in Salt Lake City, and it was a spectacular conference and opportunity to talk with legislators and around the country, including in the state of Florida, as well as just school leaders and statewide leaders. It was fabulous, and so I encourage you to check that out if you would be interested through Excel in Ed. So all I had. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Board Member Campbell. Vice Chair Conrad.
Yes, so going towards the end, there's a lot of repeats, but I'm going to say them because I think they're very important. I'll just try to make it quick. I just wanted to give a shout out to Maplewood, Liberty Middle, and Forest High School for their improvement in attendance. It really was a great pleasure to visit those schools and celebrate with their staff and their students. And so we're looking forward to the challenge of who is going to earn that banner this next 9 weeks. So a little friendly competition. I'm very excited about that moving forward and looking forward to it. I also wanted to say a thank you to our ICROC committee. Last Thursday, I believe, we met, and again, just another team of people working together so that our referendum dollars are accounted for and spent correctly. And so I'm just really thankful for the time and the dedication they give to doing that for us and having that committee to ensure our dollars are going to the things that they're supposed to. And we discussed some tonight about safe schools. So anyway, just really grateful for that team of people. I also wanted to point out at Forest High School, the Service Academy, and really it was a great event. And not only was it great for our students, which Dr. Campbell mentioned, but it was also really great for the staff that was there. Afterwards, and even in the days that followed, there were quite a few staff members that reached out and just said, you know, that process is so cumbersome and so complicated. It was great to have someone walk us through the process and start that timeline a little earlier, because there are so many requirements the students have to meet, you know, to get to that end game. So that was a great opportunity for not just our students, but our staff members as well, in helping our students succeed. I wanted to highlight also the Boys and Girls Club. They did have their annual luncheon, and it was great. They had a great speaker, very, very inspiring speaker. But especially with all that was discussed at the beginning of our meeting and our celebrations, just another group of people who lifts up the children of Marion County, that they have somewhere to go after school, to get homework help, and to be supervised in a loving and caring, nurturing community. And so I just wanted to say thank you for the work that the Boys and Girls Club continues to do in our community. I'm very grateful. Reverend Cummings mentioned some concerns about MTI. I too, that was on my list as well, and I wanted to ask Dr. Gullett if there was a way that we could get a more detailed discipline report of what's kind of happening here at MTI, either on a weekly basis or a monthly basis. I don't know what would be best for your staff, but I know there was mention of a student that eloped this week, and that was of great concern to me, just because of where we're situated here with Fort King and the Boulevard and those types of things. And Reverend Cummings, I think you had some great suggestions in helping our students, because I do know those transition times traditionally are our most challenging times. And so just want to make sure that we're covering all of our bases. This was put together very quickly. I feel like we may have a few holes that we can improve on, and so I'd just like to stay updated on where we are with discipline and how we can assist as a board Mr. Jones as he works on moving this program forward, because I know that he has it was such a pleasure to hear him the other day share all the expectations and the positive things that he's doing with this group of students. And so just looking forward to furthering those conversations and meeting the needs of the students that are here. I also, a couple of weeks ago, I asked about a transportation update, and Dr. Gullett, I'm very grateful for the briefing that you send us, but I'd also like to get a transportation update. This board, we made a lot of changes to the bus schedule, and I'd like to see if we're making some gains with our three-tiered bus route. And so if we could get that added to our update, so we see some percentages of on how many buses are arriving to school on time, and how many are being dismissed on time.
I think she added that last week.
Yes, it started last week.
Yep. Because I asked for the same thing.
Yeah, I did. I did not see the percentages. I did see.
It was there.
Okay.
And it's an improvement from last year.
It is.
Okay, where is it?
In that same graph.
Okay, I apologize. I completely missed that. So thank you for those of you that have already done that work that I did not see.
There's
So
always
I
one
will-
more thing in this life.
Yes, yes. So anyway, with that, my apologies for bringing that forward, and it's already been taken care of. I'm just continue to be thankful for the work that goes on within this community. Today we saw a lot of partnerships that are helping every student succeed right here in Marion County. So thank you. Thank you to all.
Thank you, Vice Chair. And yes, that is, there's a lot of pleasures and honors to being chair. But one of the difficulties is that by the time you get a chance to share something, unless it's, you know, a monumentally different, you just try to help wrap it up and end on a positive always, because we start and finish with kids. And one of my favorite things about this board is that we have always acknowledged the challenges, but we have almost always cheerfully taken them on, along with the rest of the staff and the community. And I do believe, and thank you for the acknowledgement, Board Member Campbell, about the CEP presentation, because that's largely what was shared back to Dr. Gullett and I, that, gosh, you know, there is a lot of positive things going on, but you also have so much going on. But it was a pleasure, you know, to share that last week. And it also is always a good reminder to me to keep my own accountability mirror polished. You know, we must practice, you know, what we preach. And I completely agree with the rest of the board. You know, any number of great adult role models, the more, the better. And some of our most well-managed schools, I think of Liberty Middle School, and I'm sure it's happening now too, under different leadership. But when Miss Connor was there, it's just like Board Member James said, when it was time to go to your post, you know, everything stopped, and that's where people went. And, you know, kids deserve as many chances and support as we can give them until they put themselves in a situation where sadly we can't be of assistance for a while. So that's one of the things I thought was so great about placement on this campus, is that it does provide a lot of opportunity for contact with pretty cool adults and some possible mentorship. Mentorship can take place in 3 seconds or less, you know. So I look forward to continuing to evolve and grow and support the program here. And once again, I'd like to thank our student board representatives for joining us tonight. We know it makes us a late night and that you have a lot going on when you get home. We were talking about homework earlier, and I'm sure in the classes that you've chosen to take and the way in which you've chosen to challenge yourself, that you have a lot to work on when you leave here tonight. So thank you again for dedicating, you know, time to us and time to our school system and time to your fellow students by representing them so well. So if there's nothing else for the good of the cause, I think we are probably ready to adjourn, and I will entertain a motion.
Motion to adjourn.
Motion by Board Member Campbell and second by Board Member James. And before I ask for all those in favor, I did forget one very important thing, and this is to everyone that ran for public office for the primary. Congratulations, Board Member Campbell, on your win, and thank you to everyone who ran. If it was that easy, many more people would be throwing their hats in the ring, and it does distress me that a lot of races are being decided in the primary with very little competition. So take that as a hint. You may want to start thinking about serving on a board and doing what it takes to get yourself elected one day. All right, all those in favor of adjourning, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes unanimously, 5 votes to 0, and we are adjourned at 7:48 p.m. Thank you.